Morning folks, and welcome to this edition of Crash Course. Something I keep forgetting to ask you is please go to the original video link, go to YouTube and follow our channel, or rather subscribe to our channel. Head on down to the bottom and also just hit a like there and maybe click the little star. It will allow you to be able to follow the videos as they come out, because the idea is that we share them as they happen. In today's crash course, I want to talk about the issue of speeding. We hear all these things and people saying that speed kills. It's always about speed kills, and it is true, definitely. If you go at 1,000 kilometers per hour and you hit a rock or a wall or something like that, you'll certainly die. But the fact is also that all research is not out on the topic. It's not necessarily true that all forms of speeding, with other words velocity, is necessarily fatally dangerous. A good example would be racetracks. There are probably less crashes on racetracks than there are on open roads. Yes, I know there are cars, there are other people, and I fully agree. The point I'm just trying to make is there has been enough research to show that in some instances an increase in the speed limit can actually reduce the crash rate, and a reintroduction of a lower speed limit can actually increase crash rates. The Great North Highway in Australia, for instance, at a stage the speed limit was completely removed. People were allowed to drive at any speed they like. The interesting thing is that what happened there is people didn't start driving at 200. The average speed went from about 130 to about 140 kilometers per hour by default. Yes, I know South Africans are belligerent. We'll drive at 200 because we can. All I'm saying is that this classical thinking, this traditional dogmatic thinking, that I am right because I've always been right, I'm the only person that can make a decision, is not necessarily always true. In Sweden, for instance, they had a particular highway that goes over a mountain, a kind of a mountain pass, where the crash rate was unacceptable. Now, since it's Sweden, maybe it was 2 every 10 years, I don't know. But the fact is, they felt the need to improve the situation. So they went and they widened the road, they put up more warnings, they put up better barriers, they put up better lighting, etc. And the scary thing is that the crash rate actually increased. The reason why, according to researchers, is a concept called risk homeostasis. People use the road and they tend to measure the risk of their activities based on how likely they feel they are going to be in trouble. So if the road is narrow, poorly lit and not well maintained, people get a little bit scared. When the road is wide, beautiful and clearly lit and they can see far, speed feels slow. It feels like you're driving and standing still almost when driving at 120, so people tend to increase their speeds in accordance. So what is typically used is a so-called 80th percentile. The way it works is you do research on a particular stretch of road. You measure the speed of cars on average, and you take the speed that 80% of people are driving at, not are supposed to be driving at, are driving at, as some kind of guide. Because if 80% of people can drive there at that speed, survive and not die, then certainly the 20% must be doing something wrong when they do. It's a different thing when 80% are driving at a particular speed and they're all involved in crashes. Then certainly speed is an issue. I also agree that speed should be lowered at and around schools, etc. For instance, there's no point trying to argue that you can increase 60 kilometers per hour or even drive at 60 kilometers per hour when you pass a primary school with children coming out. I also don't believe speed should be constant. Speed limits at night, in my opinion, should be lower than speed limits in day, because it is also known that the amount of time and space that your headlights allow you to respond to, especially with oncoming traffic, is far too small for you to be traveling at 120 kilometers per hour at night. So the fact is that I believe that speed limits should be considered in greater detail, and it shouldn't just be about going slower. It should be about being intelligent, it should be about research, it should be about risk homeostasis and a full understanding of the environment. Add to that modern and advanced cars, and you know what I'm saying. That's our crash course for today. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next one.